Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
Your suffering will be legendary, even in hell.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
They're here.
Welcome back to another Halloween episode. We're here.
Well, listen, you are the most unexciting, uninteresting man in America. You need to let's try this again, right? I'm gonna welcome us to the show.
The intro is just, it says what I said.
Yeah, but you need to be the one who's like, hey, welcome back. We're continuing on with our Halloween monsters and goblins and ghosts and ghouls month here on the Editor's Note podcast. I'm local internet celebrity Jared. Along with me is the owner, proprietor, and all-around general Halloween curmudgeon, Zach.
Halloween's the best.
Are you not a curmudgeon about Halloween?
No, it's the best.
Wait a minute, you actually just admitted that you like something and it's the best?
Yeah, this is when I get to watch. I'm a big fan of like the old Universal Monster Cycle movies.
Ooh, what about, do you like, it's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown? Do you like that one?
That has literally nothing to do with the Universal flicks. And
yeah, but I'm just asking you a question.
No.
Okay, that's fair.
But I mean, the Universal movies are even why I get a little forgiving about some Christmas stuff.
Like you're talking about like the old monster flicks, like Revenge of the Wolfman.
That was definitely never one of them.
But it could be.
The Wolfman ones are all good. If we're talking front to back best series, Wolfman probably stands as the strongest.
The black and white ones or the...
Yeah, I mean, they started back in 1931. The first sound horror flick was Dracula. It was supposed to be Man Who Laughs, which is one of the inspirations for the Joker. But there were so many prosthetics, the guy couldn't actually... Conrad Veidt, I think it was. He couldn't talk through the prosthetics, so Dracula with Lugosi ended up being the first talky horror flick, but also simultaneously there was the Spanish version that was filmed in all the same sets, and then they went into, Frankenstein, Wolfman, Invisible Man.
Is the Invisible Man really scary, though?
The first one's amazing with Claude Rains before they switched over to Vincent Price. I love the first one. It is technologically amazing. Love it.
What about, you got Dracula, right? You said Dracula. The
Yeah.
Mummy? Did you talk about The Mummy?
It depends on which mummy you're talking about. The first mummy that has Boris Karloff, which is really more of a love story compared to when it was Lon Chaney Jr., who was playing Karis, who is more your lumbering mummy in rags.
Ooh.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, okay.
Well, even what you're talking with, like, the arms out, that's this big stereotype regarding Frankenstein's monster. People are like, oh, the monster walks with his arms out and does that. That's just because the presence of Igor was transferred into him and he was blind. The arms are out because he's blind.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought rigor mortis had something to do with it.
No, that was that only, I think that was just in Son of Frankenstein, or that was before Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. Yeah, I think it was just Son of Frankenstein when they transferred into the monster's body where there was blindness. That's why the arms are out, but that stereotype was like, people think that the monster just walks like that.
We could stop the podcast here because this would be a groundbreaking, revolutionary podcast because you have spoken highly of something for the first 3 minutes, 3 minutes of the show. So
no, I love the old Universal monster flicks, going from the stuff from the early 30s going through about mid 40s, and some of that goes. It's not just the Universal ones, but those are kind of like the gold standard. King Kong, the 1933 movie, I will stand by as the greatest and most influential movie of all time. Then you got some of the other James Whale stuff, the guy who did Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein. Old Dark House is wildly underrated. I love old horror movies.
Is King Kong really a horror movie, though?
At the time it was.
I guess, a giant, ape climbing up the Empire State Building would be very terrifying.
Oh, and he ate a lot of people and stepped on them, and there are dinosaurs and people dying left and right, yeah.
I guess, if that were to happen today, I'd be quite disconcerted, and I would be upset.
You could call it sci-fi or monster flick, but at the time I would absolutely call it a horror movie.
I think, it'd probably be a horror movie today. If, we went upstairs and turned on the TV and there was a giant creature eating people in New York City and climbing up the side of the Empire State Building, I think I'd be concerned.
Yeah, just, I rewatched, because especially during October, I love rewatching these movies. I just did the American Dracula last night with Lugosi versus the Spanish one, which is technically a million times better, but it doesn't have the same star power that Lugosi brought to it. Even though at the time he couldn't speak English and everything was fed to him phonetically, kind of like It's Benicio del Toro, right? It was an interview with the vampire the same way they fed him the lines.
Oh, you mean not
Wasn't Antonio Banderas?
Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, same deal, like with what they did with him, but they had to do it with Lugosi. That's why you get those kind of...
Avon.
Well, he never says that, where he's just like, we'll take a ship tomorrow evening, like stuff like that.
But that adds to it.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. But the Spanish version, the camera moves, they do a little bit better with the set design, even though it was all the same stuff. But whatever. Unrelated. Hey, I like old horror movies.
There you go.
But we're not here to... I guess we are here to talk about horror stuff, because it is the month of October.
Yay!
It is. I enjoy Halloween.
This is also a groundbreaking podcast, because this is my last podcast at the age of 31. Yes, that's right. This Saturday is my birthday. Specials at the store for my birthday, in fact. No, there are no specials at the store for my birthday.
Buy 32 comics, get one free.
There it is! Ha! The Jerry Six sale.
You're still in your early 30s. You're not mid yet.
No, I'm not in my mid-30s yet. So what? At 32, when would it be mid-30s? What would you say? Like 34, 35, 36 is mid-30s?
Yes, I think that's literally the definition of mid-30s.
Oh, thank you.
I'm glad you cleared that up.
I'm glad I did too. The things you learn.
Nope, that's just basic math.
Oh, well.
Now that we've discussed my excitement of the Universal horror movies, what's up with you? You got anything?
My birthday's coming up.
Well,
I got a
there's
Belgian
that.
waffle maker for my birthday. I got like an early birthday gift this
From
week.
Belgium?
No, it's not from Belgium. I think it was made in Taiwan.
Oh, so...
But there's just not the same ring to a Taiwan waffle, I guess. A Taiwanese waffle, if that is such a thing. I'm just excited to have a waffle maker. I've been wanting to have a waffle maker since I bought my house last year, and I got my waffle maker now. So I'm going to make waffles this weekend.
I was going to say, waffles or pancakes?
Oh, I'm a big pancake guy. Huge pancake guy. But, like, living by yourself, it's hard to, like, make... There's not, like, an amount of pancake batter you can make just for you. I guess there is.
What's the difference? There's no difference in the batter.
There's a big difference. There's a more vanilla-y flavor to a Belgian waffle mix.
Well, I guess if you're using, mix versus just making it from scratch.
Yeah, let's be honest here. I'm gonna make it from a mix.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm incapable of making it from scratch. I totally could, but I don't know. I love pancakes and I love waffles. I think
this is the greatest debate in our country right now. Pancakes or waffles?
It's probably the most civil debate in our country right now.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, fair. I guess.
The fact that I had to stop, pause, and think about that. Oh, you know what's really getting me right now? What's really grinding my gears? And if you are following me on Twitter, you may have seen this week. The stupid bottle flipping phenomenon that the kids are doing now. I don't understand it. Have you seen this or heard of this?
I thought you were going to talk about the clowns.
Oh, that's also dumb too.
The clowns.
The clowns.
The clowns.
But no, the big thing now that the kids are doing is they're taking like plastic water bottles that have a little bit of water in them, and they're flipping them and trying to get them to land upright, which is probably like cool and fun to do for like 30 seconds. But like kids are doing it over and over and over and over again. To which someone's like, oh, they're just getting ready for college. They'll be really good at flip cup. I'm like, no, because they can't get the dang thing to land on its like bottle bottom. And now the big thing that they're trying to do, are you ready for this? To get it to land on its cap. And they're like, oh, we capped it. Now, I remember when we were growing up, getting capped was not a good thing. Or capping someone or capping something.
You're from Maine.
Good point.
You've never lived outside of the state of Maine.
Not true. I lived in Pennsylvania for 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
Ha!
Yeah, Pennsylvania. Yeah, the Amish were capping people left and right.
I wasn't even in Amish country, but there were Amish people. Yeah, because remember I told the Amish Nickelback story. Yeah, this music does not seem to agree with me.
Look, at least I was in Jersey.
That's a good point. It's a very good point.
I'm fairly like next to Princeton.
I've been to Portland.
Woo! You know what I got?
Oh yeah, you got something cool.
I
was thinking, do I want to answer this appropriately or?
I have a life-size turtle in the store. One of a kind.
Yes, you do.
Or one of four, but...
One of four.
You know what I mean.
Yes, you do. We're delayed in recording tonight because you had to go and pick it up.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, one of... This turtle originally was living in Northampton. There was a comic art museum in the 90s called the Words and Pictures Museum. But that shut down after, I don't know, a few years. And moved around from... a few different people and has eventually made its way to my store.
Yes, you moved in tonight. It's Leonardo.
Yep. He has no legs.
He has no legs. He's coming out of a chimney.
He's an amputee. I'm on a payment plan. I'll get him eventually.
The legs?
They're not real.
Oh.
There are no legs.
Could you, maybe have someone, fabricate you some Leonardo legs? If you really wanted to?
I guess. Go with the rest of him.
Are you going to dress him up for holiday things? Are you going to put, a Halloween costume on him?
I'll put a Santa hat on him.
Well, that's a ways away. What about a pilgrim hat for November?
No, he has a Santa hat.
Oh.
Because I already have one of those.
It wouldn't be that hard to make a pilgrim hat or find a pilgrim hat.
I'll let him stand on his own merits.
Fair enough. I'll give you that.
But he's there. He's large. He's life-sized.
Stop by and see him.
I'll have Polaroid set up. $2 a photo. I don't think it's that unreasonable.
Well, you texted me a photo and then you asked me for $2 when I walked in the door tonight. I was very upset by that.
Look, it has to be profitable on some level.
You're like,
He wasn't free.
I sent you that text message picture of it now. Pay me $2. What the hell?
It's been a 4-day ordeal getting him down here. I tried to get him down here without renting a U-Haul.
I can't imagine he would fit in your tiny-ass car.
I switched cars. I was driving a larger vehicle that would not cost money. It wasn't happening.
So, but you had to spend the time and the gas money to drive down with this vehicle to try and fit it in there, and then...
Yep, failed miserably.
Wow.
Got a nice lunch out of it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Then had to get him in a U-Haul today. So I've driven down to Wells, which is an hour and a half away 3 times in 4 days.
What was the impetus of buying this?
I was contacted.
You're like, hey, would you like this?
No, yeah, essentially. Because for those who listened a few episodes back, the guy that I interviewed, Steve Levine, his shop in Wells is closing, so he can focus on being just a freelance artist versus living in the land of retail and also being a freelance artist. And his wife contacted me and said, hey, do you want to buy all of these turtles? And I said, no, I A, don't have the space, B, I don't have that much money, but then I ended up with one of them. And it's just been this long process of getting him, or not that long, but it feels like it. Just like I said, I've literally driven to Wells 3 times in 4 days.
Plus the store being open.
Yeah.
You look tired.
It was a 5-hour ordeal getting him, driving down, getting him into the store.
So that's why the store was closed early today.
Yeah, because I had to go. I had to go get the U-Haul this morning and then it was this whole ordeal. But he's there.
Which brings me to a new 1-week segment called Tweets from Junior Rich. I'm going to read to you a tweet that I received today about the store being closed. And actually, there were a couple of them, actually. I'd like to read them.
I didn't have time to read them because I was driving a U-Haul.
Okay. Well, somebody, our friend Ross, who calls me Jerry Six.
You've never met him, have you?
No, but I like the mysteriousness of our relationship.
He usually comes in on Fridays.
He says, can we please just keep a list or a single note of things that you do like, Zach? Your hate list would require full-time staff. And he actually made a post-it note of things that you like.
I know, I saw that.
Kirby, the artist and the dog, Firefly, and Star Wars.
Yeah, if you want, I got a giant turtle in my store if you've ever come there. Boy, is it hard to miss.
I was going to say, your store isn't exactly, expansive.
There was also, if you want, I have a table for sale now that used to be in the store. Things had to get moved around. It's like a whole new store.
A whole new store.
Oh, the giant turtle.
Okay, fair enough.
With no legs.
I guess that qualifies as part 1 of the news.
Yeah, we should go to the news. Here it is!
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
You know what made me tired this week?
Moving a giant-ass turtle into the store?
That did make me very tired. Oh my god, was that an ordeal. So I was down on Saturday for the last signing, which was a whole thing, which was very nice. And I went down in style. I didn't stand around like some chump. I had multiple chairs. I had a table. There were card games, food, drinks.
So wait a minute. You went down to the signing
on Saturday.
But it was at Steve's shop.
Yeah. No, I went down with drinks, food, multiple chairs, a table.
So what you're describing, Zach, is what we
camping.
what we real men who like sports ball call tailgating.
My drinks were non-alcoholic, 100%.
But no, just because it's tailgating doesn't mean getting drunk. But you're talking about a table, some games, some food. Zach, you just described tailgating.
I wasn't standing around like a bunch of chumps.
You were at a big event having a pregame festivity.
I was watching everyone else stand and just look at me in sadness.
When you're
That's
listening,
right.
For those of you listening to the show, tweet at me at Junior Rich and agree or disagree. Zach just described tailgating. Let me rephrase what I said earlier. Not just us real men, but us real sports fans, people who enjoy sports. Us real men, and that's discrediting a lot of people. I don't want to do that. Not in this charged climate. No.
I don't think anyone has a sports-related stance. They're not like yay or nay football. Like, yeah, it's fine.
Actually, you're like, I don't like football.
I'm not running for president.
Oh well, but still, I'm just saying. Sounds like you went to this signing at Steve's and tailgated.
I had a dog with me. Kirby was there.
Oh, you're definitely tailgating then.
I was also the only person that had a dog. Everyone's like, "Oh, that's so sweet." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm the only one selfish enough to bring a dog."
But this shows how much I know you and wouldn't ever expect you to do a tailgating type thing. I thought you went to Steve's signing with a editor's note comics table.
No, I was wearing my sweatshirt though. Always be branding.
Always ABB.
ABB. Always be branding. It was really fun. Apparently, the Peter Laird, the co-creator, also has a dog named Kirby. And I was talking to him, and I'm like, "Oh, that's so." Like, he showed pictures. He's like, "This is my dog Kirby." And I went up there, and some people were treating it like this was real library environment. It's just talk to the guy, and it's fine. And he's super friendly and engaging.
Oh, so you met Peter?
I've met him a couple of times.
But you had a real adult conversation with him?
We've talked before, but yeah, actually, in fairness, he actually might remember me this time because I have that giant turtle that used to be in his barn.
So you had to go to Peter's house to get the turtle?
No.
Oh.
No. But he was, he showed me a picture of his dog. He's like, "Oh, this is my Kirby." I'm like, "Oh, that's so funny." And then I was talking about that in line, and I could tell people were listening to me. I'm like, "Oh, it's so funny. His dog is he named his dog the same thing as mine." And I could hear people. I'm like, "Yeah, it's so weird. Why would someone else name their dog Asshole?" That's what we get for eavesdropping.
Wow. There we go.
I got some giggles.
So, does that explain the new poster you have down here in the studio, the sign off? Is that what the event was called?
Yeah, the new print.
Oh, there you go.
1 of 100.
And you have one of them.
I have 1 of 100. That's number 1.
Oh wow, the number 1 print. So you're gonna be you're becoming the go-to place now.
I'd like people to come to me. Yeah, check out that one.
That's the Batman Turtles one.
That was a commissioned piece. I don't really do a lot of commissions, but no, I had 3 people work on that. Unrelated.
For you? They made it for you?
Well, yeah, I asked for it. That's supposed to be an homage to the Batman number 1 from, I think, what was it, 1941, of Batman and Robin swinging in.
Oh.
But I switched it up, had 3 old Mirage artists work on it. 1 penciled, 1 inked, 1 colored.
Wow.
Just like the good old days of...
Yeah, it looks like it's actually on a book, though.
Yeah, that's one of a kind. That's all... That was a blank sketch cover that I had them do.
But the inside of the book is blank?
No, the inside of the book's all real.
So wait, they did a whole book for you?
No, it's just the cover. The cover was blank, and then I commissioned them to work on the cover.
Oh, cool.
But all the inside of it is still the same thing. We've learned things today.
Wow.
We've really wasted a lot of time on the show before getting into the news.
Oh, well, let's get into the news.
Okay. You know what makes me tired?
Hauling around a giant-ass turtle.
Oh my god, no, deja vu. There's going to be 5 more Harry Potter movies.
That's the lead to news? There's a new freaking Star Wars trailer.
Look, I haven't finished with that.
Okay.
5 more, though.
They're all probably based on the Fantastic Beasts, Where to Find Them.
Yeah, it's going to be following up on that. But what brings me around a little. I'm not that interested in Fantastic Beasts. I'll see it. We're going to do an episode on it. Harry Potter has never been my thing 100%. We'll do a Harry Potter episode, and I'll get into it. No, I'm not 100% against it, but I'm partially against it. It's not a nerd story. It's a jock story. It's a legacy story.
I get what it is. I've read it. I
also hate this fantasy of no, you're special. You're the most special. Actually, you're better than everyone. I hate stuff like that. Okay, we'll get into it later. Different episode.
We were in such a positive place. You went 21 minutes without being pissed off at something.
Here's what intrigues me.
Okay.
So if this Fantastic Beasts movie is a prequel taking place way back, what I've learned recently, because I don't know the books that well.
You don't know the universe.
Yeah, it's not my thing. But apparently Dumbledore dated a wizard who went to war at the same time as Hitler. And there's all of this...
Grimwald.
Yeah, there's all this stuff happening around World War II with the wizarding world that spills over into the regular world. So
Yeah.
If those are the movies, yes, I will watch those movies.
There's been a stunning and disturbing revelation over the last 2 weeks of the show. Movies with Hitler in them seem to get you fired up.
Weirdly, yes. Yeah, the Transformers movie. Apparently, I just want Hitler in movies.
This is a sad and disturbing revelation.
But I don't want him to win.
No, nobody wants him to win. Well, I mean, he wanted to win, but I don't want him to win.
Well, I don't want it to be about, in this case, I don't want it to be about Hitler. I want to be, like, if you show me a separate war that's happening at the same time as World War II, and it's spilling over, like, because also one of the things I dislike about Harry Potter is that, like, takes place in its own little kind of pocket. I think it would be more interesting if it was interacting with the real world more.
And this is kind of what we're going to get a little bit.
If that's what they do, yes, I will watch those movies. I'll get excited about those movies. But if you're just like, here's 5 more movies of them, like, at unsafe wizard school where they enforce slave labor and have, like, no standards for safety.
Yeah. Where, like, things can kill you at the school.
Where they're like, look at all of this food. Isn't that amazing? Our slave elves were making it, and then we popped it over.
Ah, good for them.
Yeah. Less of that, more of World War II wizarding war. I'd be all for that.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do 5 movies, at least make them interesting.
Fair enough.
Don't do the same crap. A weird crossover was announced this week in the realm of comic books. Crossovers, I know your favorite things.
I don't hate all crossovers. I do like sometimes when the things...
Yeah? Well, how about this one? Justice League and Power Rangers.
I'm ambivalent. I really don't have an opinion on it.
I just don't get it.
Did you see the... Oh, yeah, we talked about the Power Rangers trailer last week, didn't we?
But this is supposed to be like the 90s Power Rangers and the Justice League. Like, we had the recent one of, like... Right now there's one going on that's like Big Trouble in Little China meets Escape from New York, which is hilarious and a lot of fun. You have stuff that, like, Batman and Ninja Turtles, which are both seem so super 90s that I can get on board for. Or, like, Alien versus Predator, like, makes a lot of sense. But, like,
yes.
Batman,
Freddy versus Jason?
Yeah. But Justice League, Power Rangers, I don't get the connection.
No. Speaking of things similar to Power Rangers, did you see or read today that Leonardo DiCaprio...
Oh, yeah, that's in there.
Oh, it's in the news?
I have that, yeah.
Oh, yeah! I won't spoil it. We'll get to it in a minute.
That's a weird crossover that's happening in the realm of comics. We'll see if it works or not. I'm like, okay. I just don't see what connects the two.
They're teams of elite people. No, the only one of them is elite. The other are a bunch of kids with special rings.
Teenagers with attitude?
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah, the other one. Leonardo DiCaprio will be producing...
Captain Planet!
What a stupid idea.
Could it be the Don Cheadle Captain Planet that turns everyone into trees?
That was hilarious.
There's like 3 or 4 of those. Have you seen them?
No, I only thought there was one.
Oh, there's more. They kind of like beats a dead horse a little bit, but it's so good.
Why? Captain Planet was awful. Those kids are so stupid. Why don't they just call him immediately? They never solve the problem.
Yeah, but he's like, if he gets dirt on him, he becomes...
His weakness is pollution. His job is to stop pollution. This character is an oxymoron.
Yeah, but if you throw some water on him, give him a little sunlight, he's just fine. How do you think Captain Planet would hold up today?
I think real bad.
Like in our current environment, like outside, like right now.
I think real bad.
I think real bad. Do you think Captain Planet would vape? Would he be into vaping?
No. That's an unrelated topic that I think is stupid.
See, good. I'm getting old Zach back from happy and jovial Zach in the first part of the show.
Yeah, that's an unrelated topic. It's also... Captain Planet is stupid.
Like, I know that like Leonardo DiCaprio is a big environmental guy. He loves the environment. He's all about that, but I don't know. How do you make Captain Planet like a sexy movie?
I don't think you do.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's important that we pay attention to the climate, pay attention to pollution, taking care of the planet. But Captain Planet as a movie, is it going to be animated, live action? Is he going to be in it? Is he going to be Captain Planet? That'd be interesting. I don't know. Just a thought.
Nope, it's stupid.
All
it's
right.
going to be a dumb movie, and I hate it.
All right, well, thank you for your opinion.
Came out this week, which I felt like already came out a million times over, that Wonder Woman is supposed to be lighter in tone than Batman v Superman.
It's not that hard to become lighter in tone than Batman v Superman.
Nope, it's just damage control. And rumors continue to circle that it's a kind of crap mess.
Oh, but I'm looking forward to Wonder
I
Woman.
know, so am I. I hope it's good.
Me too.
I'm moving on. But there's another kind of Wonder Woman movie in the works.
Oh, yes.
It's going to be a biopic on her creators, which I touched on a little bit, which also means that I really need to get to work on that Origin of Wonder Woman episode.
Oh, no.
It's not bad. No, I mentioned this before, where her creator was like real bohemian, like him and his wife.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Live-in girlfriend where there was like multiple children, and then he died from being essentially obese, and then they lived out the rest of their days and raised all of his kids.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, that's gonna come out like the exact same time as the Wonder Woman movie. Sony's doing it. Good for Sony. They're really jumping on this, but whatever. I mean, the more Wonder Woman's name out there, the better. You know what I hate?
Dragon or Giant Turtle.
Oh God, we're going back there. No, he's in there for life now. I'm an old man. Not into the pop music these days.
Oh, the pop music.
I don't like your pop sensations. I'm trying to name them and I'm blanking immediately.
Like NSYNC?
No, I know them.
Backstreet Boys?
In all fairness, I never liked any of those either.
Oh, I don't know.
Your Justin Bieber's and your is Selena Gomez a singer?
I think so.
Yeah, that's that stuff. Not into it. I also don't like your Hannah Montana's.
That was a TV show. That'd be Miley Cyrus is the singer.
She said some stuff this week.
Oh, Miley Cyrus?
She took some shots at Supergirl.
What? Miley.
I know. I'll read you a little quote, which is a weird quote. And I really want to focus on the end of it, because what? I think having a show with a gender attached to it is weird. 1, it's a woman on that effing billboard. She didn't say effing. It's not a little girl. 2, what if you're a little boy who wants to be a girl so bad that this makes you feel bad? I think having a title like Supergirl doesn't give the power that people think it does.
Go back to your wrecking ball. Get on your little destruction device.
I feel like she hasn't watched Supergirl.
I feel like she's like going way too literally with everything here.
They do this great scene in the pilot episode where she's named Supergirl, and Ally McBeal's character, whatever her name is, does this whole speech about how is girl a derogatory term, like I'm a girl, you're a girl, and blah blah blah, and how it's empowering and not negative. And so I feel like Miley Cyrus has not watched an episode. And also, what if you're a little boy who wants to be a girl so bad that this makes you feel bad?
It shouldn't, and it
What?
wouldn't. I don't. Oh my god.
Are you confused by that? Because I'm confused by that.
I'm very confused.
Is this something like where someone was like trying to just caught her like on some red carpet and she threw out some weird crap? Like,
it's Supergirl. It's Batman. It's Superman. It's whatever.
Well, they take a lot of Superman stories, but I like the show a lot, and I'm fine with watching shows that have male leads, female leads, like black leads, whatever. I don't care. What I care about is the story good. In this case, I really enjoy the story, and that's why I watch the show. I don't go like, yay, lady show.
Strong female lead.
Diversity is great, but what's better than diversity is a well-structured show, and it's a good show. Shut up, Hannah Montana.
Go back to her show was all about being a strong girl and all that.
How do you know that?
I work with teenagers.
Was that show on like 10 years ago?
A good point. I'm just guessing here. I'm just kind of like throwing it out there as a possibility.
Throwing shade at Miley. What the hell was that?
Throwing shade.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
I don't know that thing. Is that a thing the kids do?
No, it's not. I just kind of came up with it on the fly there.
Yeah, you could have lied to me.
Oh, yeah, the kids do that all the time.
They blow at things. Oh. We got a few images released this week. First up, speaking of Supergirl,
yes,
Jimmy Olsen is going to be Guardian, and it looks kind of silly.
I mean, yeah, no, I wasn't digging it.
Guardian is a character that was created by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby for DC that looks awfully like they're designed for Captain America.
You mean with a giant shield?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the original design is... They basically went Captain America with a paint job.
Oh, good for them.
We made him. We're going to make him again.
With a better paint job.
It was a worse paint job.
with a mediocre paint job.
We're not going to put a lot of thought into this. But whatever. I mean, more DC characters out there. Great. The costume's a little silly. I don't know how you're going to be able to transition smoothly from, like, photojournalist into vigilante superhero. But I guess Jimmy Olsen has also turned into a giant turtle a bunch in the comics. So that's real. Look that up.
Wait a minute. Like a turtle?
Like a 100-foot tall turtle, yeah.
Jimmy Olsen needs to get that condition looked at.
Yeah, it's been an issue.
I would think so.
We got an image of Mira, Aquaman's wife in Justice League, played by Amber Heard.
Saw that.
Looks accurate, looks good. I have nothing else to say.
I mean, they got the head right. It's the only time I've ever seen a picture of her.
Oh, yeah, because you only saw her decapitated in Flash.
That's true, yeah.
Looking good.
Yeah, looks accurate to me.
That decapitated head matches up with Johnny Depp's ex-wife? Current one? I don't know. I'm also not up on the gossip. Are they still married?
Johnny Depp?
And Amber Heard?
I'll fact check the show.
I'm not going to bother. I'm going to say they're together forever.
That's like jinxing it, maybe.
They're definitely not.
Let's see. Johnny Depp. Oh, no. They actually got divorced this year.
Rough times. Rough times for the millionaires. There's a bunch of photos released for the upcoming third Wolverine movie, Logan, with it scrawled on the wall, "Where are all the mutants?"
Where are all the mutants?
It's a fair question because it doesn't look like it's take place that much longer after the last X-Men movie. Whatever. I want this to be good, but the last one they burned me so bad on. I'm like, yeah. Dry movie, I guess. And also, if you've read comics for any span of time, the idea of mutants disappearing on a practically semi-annual basis, it happens all the time. Like, we can't make any more babies.
Like a mutant rapture?
It happens so often.
Oh, good to know.
It's an ongoing issue that's, like, at this point, like, why are there still mutants? This, like, near extinction thing happens a bunch, guys.
Well, they find a way out of it, so good for them.
Last image I guess we're going to talk about, which will be a quickie. One of my favorite things in the world, I already mentioned it earlier, King Kong.
Yes.
We got, I don't know what you call it, not infrared, not X-ray, but I guess an X-ray image of Skull Island.
Yeah, kind of like a wireframe map of it.
Apparently it's a dinosaur in this new version.
Oh, wow.
You saw the picture.
Oh, yeah, I said it looked like a pterodactyl.
I said, look at that dinosaur.
I was like, oh, look, a pterodactyl.
You act like you've never seen it before. Like, oh!
I'm trying to act like, like...
I showed you the picture. So
I know, I was just trying to, like, play into my role of being a doofus.
Yes, roll.
Dance, puppet. Dance. You're more of a Kong guy than I am, so...
Kong is my jam.
It's how I am. It's what I like.
And the last bit of news we're going to touch on, possibly the final Star Wars trailer. Maybe not.
Yes. There's a lot to go into there.
Good review.
Yeah. I liked it. I liked it a lot. There's a lot of new things, and it gave us a little bit more of where the story direction's going to go. We learn more about our main character. Her dad's involved. So, of course, there's the Star Wars family story arc again.
Yeah, but he's not a Skywalker that we know about.
Maybe he's Anakin's long lost dad.
But I'm going to break it down a little bit. I have some theories. I shared them with you. You don't need to act surprised.
What? I can't believe it.
First thing that we see that's of interest is we see flashbacks in this trailer showing Mads Mikkelsen, who's going to be the guy that they take, who's the father of Jyn Erso. I don't know his character's name off the top of my head.
Mr. Erso.
Yeah. Mads Erso.
Mads Erso. Erso Minor.
But we see a young Jyn, what looks to be wearing an Imperial shirt.
Hard to tell that she had that like insignia block on it, but it wasn't like the typical like insignia of the Empire, but definitely like one of those insignia like rank kind of blocks.
And I don't think it was like, maybe she's just wearing it, maybe it's, I don't know.
Maybe she's part of the Palpatine youth movement, I don't know.
Yeah. But I thought that was interesting because I was under the impression that it was maybe their family was from the rebellion side of things, they were just being taken over, but it almost looks like they might be on the Imperial side. Also, let's just focus on this. Aside from blowing up Alderaan, what bad things did the Empire ever do?
They killed all those Jedi.
Are they that bad? Or are we just told they're bad?
I think we're just told they're bad. I'm thinking here, like, totally feels like that scene from Monty Python and the Life of Brian. What have the Romans ever done for us? Well, they brought health, irrigation, aqueducts, sanitation, and all this stuff. And then, like, okay, aside from all of this, what have they brought? And this one guy goes, peace.
Yeah, same deal, but with the Empire.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
That's not the scene I thought you were going to with. He went to the window. Brian!
Oh, no.
Closes the show.
No, not the flashing scene. Or the scene where he lands on the guy's foot who's been, like, having a quiet time for, like, 20 years.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I can speak. Jehovah, Jehovah. No, that was a different scene when they stoned the guy saying Jehovah.
Always look on the bright side of life.
Are we going to be crucified in a...
Okay, no, moving on. So Jin, I'm gonna say that we see that she is definitely captured by the rebels or potentially broken out by the rebels. But there's one shot. I think she gets captured in the third act of the movie. We see her sitting this happens all the time in trailers. They splice different things together that happen at different times to make them look like they're connected. But we see her sitting in jail with what looks like some kind of alien creature who's got some funky mouth stuff going on.
Looks like a pterodactyl.
Nope, wrong thing. That was Kong.
Oh, sorry.
But we see her, if you look in the background, it looks like she's in some kind of large prison area where we see the rebels break her out of what looks like a shuttle.
Yes.
So I think she's captured at a separate time, unless she was transferred from that larger prison area. But if you look in the back, it doesn't look like the detention cells we saw on the Death Star, but it could be something maybe on a Star Destroyer or something Imperial related, but my assumption is that she gets captured towards the end of the movie, and at the end of the first trailer when we see her in like flight gear, that she gets a hold of that, and that's how she escapes.
Seems like TIE fighters are the escape vehicle of choice.
Apparently, these new movies. We also get some extra confirmation that the moon of Jeddah has some kind of Jedi temple. We see a fallen Jedi statue in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Jyn Erso's father, he only developed the laser on the Death Star, because we already saw in Episode 3 that essentially plans were completed, but I think the weapons test that they're talking about is just going to blow up that one city.
Yeah, which they think is like a
Versus
Jedi temple of sorts. Of course, everyone thinks that, or the talk has been that the Death Star laser is powered by kyber crystals.
Yeah, which is supposedly at this location.
Yes, which, if you don't know, is what the Jedi's lightsaber derives its power from, the kyber crystal. We
also see a bunch of X-Wings and just an entire fleet of ships, so we know that the entire rebellion gets in on this versus just, or at least a large part of the rebellion versus just the small band of rebels and or misfits.
Also, that interesting structure that we couldn't really figure out what it was.
Yeah, there's
doesn't look like it's part of the Death Star, but it could be like a spaceport.
I think, yeah, there's some kind of additional space station in this that they're going to attack. We see all the X-Wings doing this, attacking this one thing that doesn't match any design of things we've seen before, whether that be the Death Star or Star Destroyers. And then we get Vader emerging out of fog, as he often does. Every time Vader shows up in like his first appearance in a movie, fog.
It's a soothing aloe for his burns. The man has third-degree burns over 75% of his body.
No, that's what that crap does on his chest. It's just a fog machine. What does he do when he shows up in New Hope? Bam, out of fog. What does he do in Episode 3? Bam, out of fog. What does he do in those other two movies? I don't remember, but I'm going to assume it was out of fog.
Well, there's the, in Empire, he's in the carbon freezing room with the carbon.
No, before that, because when he shows up on Hoth, fog.
Oh, yeah.
And then Jedi.
Well, it's not really. It's not fog so much as it's like smoke from an explosion.
Fog. He always shows up through fog, and then I forget what happens in Jedi. How does he show up in Jedi? Let's see. Jabba.
No, because there's like.
Walking my way through the movie. They show up. Bikini, Jabba choking. R2 shoots a lightsaber. Luke goes off. When does Vader show up in that movie?
When they land on the new Death Star, and he says that the Emperor is coming to oversee the. Yeah, he lands in the hangar.
So no fog. Okay,
no, you got like the steam coming out of the
fog.
Ship.
It is.
Yeah,
Vader always shows up in fog. More fog.
Fog.
I guess, yeah. So James Earl Jones will be voicing Vader again. It's gonna be a new body guy. It's fine, whatever.
What I mean?
Yeah,
It's gonna be 7 foot tall.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, all right, don't mess it up.
How do you mess up being Darth Vader's body guy?
I've seen that suit in person.
Yeah?
I saw one of the suits in person anyway. It was back in, I think it was 97 or 98. I don't remember off the top of my head. But I went to Washington, D.C. for the 4th of July, and the Smithsonian was doing a Star Wars exhibit.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen the majority of those original costumes, including Vader, and like Carbonite, and Yoda, and Chewie, and C-3PO, and Han Solo, all that stuff.
You've seen it all?
Yeah.
I like it.
And that was like before they were like, no photos at exhibits.
And now you can't take photos.
Well, I was also real crap at it being, like 10.
Yeah.
So all my photos are really...
Blurry.
Well, they're not blurry. They're just not framed at all. I'm like, cut off that character's head. Remember this one woman, like, I was taking a photo of, like, the Yoda puppet. She's like, oh, do you want me to take a photo of you with Yoda? I'm like, no. Like, why do I want a photo of me? I want a photo of Yoda.
Original selfie. Click.
Well, no, it just ended up being a crap photo of Yoda. But I just, like, I don't need a picture of me. I need a picture of Yoda.
I have plenty of pictures of me.
I know what I look like.
Not as cool as Yoda.
Nope. But that will do it for the news for this week. We are moving on. We are moving on to our topic. We are going scary. In Jared's Reading Corner.
It's Jared's Reading Corner.
Boo.
That's really frightening.
Yeah, I know, wasn't it?
Yes.
So this week we're talking issues 1 through 4 of Escape from Jesus Island. Currently there are only 4 issues out. We're hitting them all.
I've read them all.
As have I.
Good job.
I also sell them all.
Yes, you do.
I have all of them in stock.
You have all of them in
actually,
stock and autographed copies.
Yeah, and these usually sell fairly well. Something that makes this book a little more special, at least for my store, is this is a book that's done entirely by guys who live in Maine. It's written, drawn, lettered. I don't know where they actually do the printing, but it's essentially a full Maine book.
Very cool.
I mean, there are a few self-published things, but this is really the biggie.
This is very messed up.
These guys, they sell this internationally.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a small book. It's an independent book, but and it's a name that's really worked its way out there. But,
it was
main title.
In 2013, it was it had one of the top 5 bloodiest comic book deaths of the year.
I'm sure. Kind of fun side story. My mom was like talking to me. She's like, "Hey, do you know this one guy like Peter Parker works on this book, Escape from Jesus Island?" I'm like, "I'm aware of him." She's like, "Oh yeah, he teaches hip hop dance lessons at the place where we take like ballroom dancing."
Oh really?
But they're like, "But that building got sold for a weed dispenser, so I don't know what's happening with him anymore."
Oh.
Oh.
Well, I know.
Good story, Mom.
Thanks, Ma.
I guess that side venture might be continuing elsewhere. Unrelated. Not to the book. I just thought it was funny. I'm like,
No, it's just a connection. He's a main guy. You see him at main places.
he letters horror books and teaches hip-hop dancing.
That's not a bad, little side gig.
In all fairness, I mean, look, I paved my own way in the world of financial support. Do what you can.
Yeah, money's money.
If you got talent, use it.
Zach's financial planning lesson of the week. You got talent, use it.
Click on the ads on my website. They help me.
Help Zach have money.
Also, I have clink bags.
Oh, there's your shameless clink plug for the day.
I gotta put up a sign about those.
More about this.
Yeah,
book.
Let's talk Escape from Jesus Island. One of the things I really kind of enjoy about this book is they don't seem, because it is self-published, they don't seem to have to deal with any kind of standards and practices.
Nope.
And they kind of go all out.
Oh, there's some... I'm going to say right in front, this is a very graphic book.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of people out there who really love like hardcore horror, all that stuff, but it's a horror book, but I mean, this is just me personally. Like the medium of comics, like it can go extreme, but I'll never, just because I'm the one setting the pace by reading, I'm never going to be like, ah!
Yeah,
that's some of the advantage of comics is you set your own pace and how you read it, but this book gets very intense and very graphic.
Yes.
Piles of dead babies and puppies.
Although in their defense, because it says so in the book, some of those babies on the top of the pile were alive.
Yeah, good living babies.
Yes.
So let's get into it. Issue 1, we open with a group called Stab.
STAB.
Stop treating animals badly.
Yes.
Or something like that, yeah. But issue 1 opens up. We have our animal rights group. They are going up against the Regen Corporation, who are trying to clone your pets.
So
That's what they say.
I want to point out
Dun,
something.
dun.
I want to point something out. Any company that ends in gen and they're cloning things, it never goes well.
Well, they say all this stuff up front. They're like, Dolly the sheep took whatever number they throw out. There's like X number of attempts, and then they attempted it. So, we're going to attempt to clone your pet. So we'll bring your beloved Fido back, but it's going to take a little work. There might be a couple of attempts in there, and that's fine.
But no, like in gen, they didn't do very well with their cloning project. Things got bad when they tried to clone dinosaurs. Jurassic Park.
I know, but they still made dinosaurs.
They did. But the dinosaurs ate people, Zach.
Especially that one woman. That babysitter woman who they just spent 5 minutes on killing.
Alan!
Did you see the last
Alan.
Jurassic Park?
Oh, the Lost World?
Jurassic World.
Jurassic World? No, I did not see Jurassic World.
Look, the last 50 minutes are worth the price of admission.
Really? Is it just gratuitous violence?
It's dinosaur on dinosaur on dinosaur on dinosaur on dinosaur on dinosaur on dinosaur action.
What? Is it a giant mega dinosaur fight?
Yes.
Hell yeah, I need to watch this movie.
I think 7 dinosaurs fighting.
I like it.
7 in 1. Yeah, no, I mean...
I've seen some of like the Easter eggs, like the T-Rex at Jurassic World is the original T-Rex.
Yeah. I mean, the movie itself is kind of okay. The last 15 minutes, worth everything.
Really?
Worth everything. It was just like, that's everything that, like, you as, like little kid, like, playing with action figures and, like, dinosaur toys. It's that, but on the screen, you're just like, yeah, dinosaurs. No, the last 15 minutes,
I like
oh my
it.
God. That was worth my $10.50 or whatever I paid.
A lot. So anyway.
Yeah, so this animal activist group, STAB.
Stop treating animals bad.
Yeah, very aggressive name for an activist group.
Yes.
They go over to an island where Regen is attempting to clone things to get
footage.
Yeah, to expose them to the world. And what happens there?
It pretty much is like every horror movie you've ever seen. Somebody gets separated from the group. It's a bunch of teenagers trying to get some found footage.
They might be teenagers. I took them as like early mid-20s.
Or, okay, like college activists. But it's like every horror movie you've ever seen. So they all get there, and one person's like, this is a bad idea, guys. We shouldn't be there. Who they inevitably get separated from the group. All right? But then they get caught back up, kind of, but they end up being the first one to die. If you're ever in a scary place, don't leave the group. You leave the group, you're going to be the first one to die.
Yeah, they find monsters real fast.
Oh, and the monsters eat them. Like,
especially this first issue, not so much the remaining 3.
Yeah.
Everybody dies.
Everybody.
Except for maybe one guy. It's kind of unclear. Christian.
No, I think everybody died, if I remember correctly. The discount, the guy I was calling Discount Fred, as I was reading, like, this is Discount Fred from Scooby-Doo. He dies a gruesome death. He's the guy who gets punched so hard his eyeball comes out.
Yeah, the art in this book is really great. You can really tell it's like this hand-painted kind of style. It's not the digital stuff. If I have any complaint about how this book is done stylistically, I'm not, and it's just more the conversational stuff. The conversational lettering, like, it doesn't blend with the book very well. Like, it's this very stark white, and it looks very digital compared to the rest of the book, which looks very organic.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't, and I was like, my big deal with this book, the lettering. I wasn't a big fan of, but it's really...
But if that's the problem, then this is a small problem.
Yeah,
really.
On a scale of problems. I mean, it's just, the lettering looks a little manufactured compared to the rest of the book.
Yeah.
Which looks like it's all been done by hand. It looks very organic.
I thought it was a neat way, that first book was a neat way to do the exposition. And it kind of helped.
They used an interesting framing device.
It was a great world building book. It kind of gives us a little bit of
like, don't get attached to anyone. Literally anyone can die.
And
And horribly.
Yeah, and badly. It establishes how bad of a place this is. And
the stakes are all put right up front.
No, I thought the first book was a good world setting book. Like, it shows that nothing's going to be off limits in this series. And it also shows that it's going to get weird.
They have the Vatican decides to send in a team to go find who?
Jesus. Clone Jesus. Which, by the way, I was calling them SEAL Team 316. What? Come on, that's a little clever.
This book, and I'm not gonna claim to be an expert or have great inside knowledge, but the guy who's the writer on this book has apparently done a ton of biblical research to make everything in there accurate and to not do things like, even though the book very much deals with the religious topics, he made sure to be up to date and kind of an expert on the topic, so he's not delving into things that aren't accurate or sacrilegious or any stuff like that. So I'm sure to a level that is well beyond my understanding because I am a dummy.
It's okay. You don't have to be smart about everything.
Look, I know the last 15 minutes of Jurassic World.
Yeah, you do. And you know how
dinosaurs fought, yo.
And you know how to transport giant turtles.
I failed at that the first time.
Okay, well, you can't be good at everything.
Second time was the charm there.
But and even the beginning part of the second book where we kind of meet the members of SEAL Team 316. That's what I'm going to call them.
All right, I'll give a quick rundown of what the book is, because when people come in, and I have this little special sticker on there, it's just like made in Maine, which I'm not sure if that's a copyright or not. I'm not going to deal with that. But people go, "Oh, what is this book?" And the general rundown I give them, like, scientists attempt to clone Jesus from blood from the cross, but they make the Antichrist.
Yes, well, and Jesus.
They also make Jesus, yeah.
And
look, it's just quicker to say
they make the Antichrist. But what's interesting is they were trying, the reasoning behind it too was because to
find a cure for cancer.
Find a cure for cancer, because the founder and lead scientist doctor for GenCore, or
Cameron Thorne.
Yes. No, it's not GenCore. What is it? It's Regen. He has cancer and dies, and his wife wants to bring him back to life.
Well, they don't say that till like the end of the fourth book. Spoilers.
Oh, my bad. I don't want to spoil too much of it.
Well, the reality is this. I mean, these are guys who are doing this independently, not working for a major company. The book doesn't come out on a regular basis. These are guys who,
I mean, they're having a Kickstarter.
They have a Kickstarter. They put it out. Like it really is a good book. If you're into this kind of stuff, like I can also completely understand if you're not into this book. Like if I'm like, I don't like this kind of content, like, yeah, that's fine. Like, makes sense. But
I mean, as a disclaimer, it's extremely graphic.
The art is great. It really
the art's
shines.
fantastic.
And I love a lot of the conversational stuff.
They don't hold back on any language, though.
No, and it's also really funny. Like, it's a funny book, like, with how ridiculous it is and how over the top it is.
Some of the, there's my favorite thing I read in the whole thing. I kind of don't know if I could say it on the podcast, because it was funny.
I'll bleep it out, I guess. Say what you, just say it and I'll bleep what I need to.
What in God's taint?
It's a really, they choose really ridiculous language in here.
But I also love how they set up every book in the beginning with a big splash page of like recapping what happened before, but also like breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, it's all the creators, but like exaggerated, monstrous versions of the creators who are kind of summing up what's going to happen or what did happen. And they also use framing. I mean, that's just your main framing device, but they also use, they don't overuse it, but there's usually about one page just of text, whether that be a newspaper article or you're reading somebody's notes.
Or a medical file.
Yeah, and it gives you a lot of context, which, I mean, especially, I'm a big fan of Watchmen, and I always like people who are trying to find different ways to break the conventions of just comic books. I couldn't tell you the exact number off the top of my head, but I mean, one of the most interesting Batman books I ever read, and I did appreciate it when it came out. It took a couple of years for it to kind of sink in. Like Grant Morrison did an entire prose Batman book that just had a couple of like hand-painted images in there on his run. And just whatever you can do to break your typical comic book conventions, I'm usually a fan of.
Well, there was some of that New Frontier, too.
Yeah. Oh, boy, and that stuff just got, that got me, I think it was last week or the week before, with Darwin Cook's death.
Yeah.
They went, do you remember the intro to New Frontier where they're like, did the losers thing?
Yeah.
And like all this stuff, I'm like Escape from Dinosaur Island, like, as a tribute, Superman and his...
Yeah, a man swan dove into a dinosaur with hand grenades.
They went back to the losers and all of that stuff recently. And they're doing it right now in a current Superman arc.
Oh, really?
It just started in the last issue, yeah, and it's being done as like a tribute to Darwin Cook. And like once it clicked what they were doing, it was like, oh, we're going back to that.
Ooh.
It's very sweet. I mean, it's all...
Yeah.
The cancer stuff is horrible, but Unrelated to this book. God, that was a downer. I was talking about the Antichrist, and then I got depressed.
Yeah, you were doing pretty well on this show about being upbeat and positive about things.
So, in the book itself, this company, Regen, is attempting to clone Jesus over and over and over again. And they keep failing.
To be able to get rid of the Antichrist.
Well, they're trying to get rid of cancer.
Yes.
It's like they would bring all of these like horrible mutated clones, like a loaf of bread. They're like, make more bread.
I like that scene. And the guy like is like panicking, like, oh, he ripped it in half. He's like, it's a miracle.
Yes. We have bread for 2, not 3. And
yes.
And then they electrocuted him.
Yes. And then they slit somebody else's throat and they're like, heal him.
But at the same time, when all this is going on, like mentioned before, the Vatican sends in Jared's newly named SEAL Team 316.
I think that's clever.
To go find Jesus, because Jesus is on this island. But so is because Jesus keeps on getting, I think it's tumors, right? And the Antichrist keeps on healing all of the tumors for him.
Yes.
They're twins. And their names are Jesus and Damien. There's a lot of biblical names. You know, we have a character in the first book, Christian. And then you have Mary on that team.
And Joe.
And Joe, yes, Mary and Joe. There's a lot of biblical names being thrown about here. Oh, and the twins, everyone has like identification numbers, and the twins are, of course, Jesus is 665 and Damien is 666.
Yeah.
There's just stuff like that.
Yeah.
Throughout, like most of the characters in this book die. They die horribly, but also the monsters get off to in like really creative ways. They're basically just like,
how can we mess this? And the creators and the writers like embrace it, even in like the framing devices.
They're basically missing just a counter in like the bottom right corner of every page saying how many different things they've killed
and how they've killed them.
I don't think you could do that with like a counter.
No, but like decapitations. One guy gets like crucified. Oh, you know what else I thought was a great line? Because they had like this woman who's kind of like head of security on the island, and like the Antichrist kind of answers to her a little bit, but like how like, you know, talking about passageways underneath the facility and how they're boarded up.
Oh yeah, where he's like,
and he's like,
that's so
and,
great.
yeah, and he's like, you think your wooden nails can stop me? And she goes, it has before.
Yeah, that was great.
That was great.
You think a few nails can stop me? Like,
it has before.
A little bit, yeah.
But I
it's just like, shut up.
Touche.
What do you know?
Yeah.
Basic biblical knowledge.
No, I mean, if you're really into like some hardcore, like heavy horror, violence,
I mean, this
apocalyptic, it's like,
this book isn't a subtle book.
No.
And it's not like an in the shadows kind of deal. It is, I mean, honestly, a lot of the stuff in it, I like the structure of it. It feels like a lot of care has gone into the story and making sure the references are correct.
There's a lot of shock value to it.
There's also that. Like, it feels smart, but it also feels kind of schlocky at the same time. But that doesn't make it a bad thing. It's just, it's a certain kind of flavor. But this is also clearly being done by guys who are into this kind of thing and into this kind of genre, and who have a certain amount of love and reverence for it while still doing something new.
Yeah.
And because they're not working for a major company, really have no restrictions.
They can get away with most anything they want to.
Yeah, and I mean, you see a lot of exploitive kind of horror books that come out now are very much, not only is it horror, but it's very much about sex as well. And this book doesn't cross that line, really.
No, it really didn't. I didn't
like think. They don't do like God, take any of your stereotypical slasher kind of flicks, and not only do you get the blood and guts, but you also have like the promiscuous teenagers and should they be doing that? You don't really get that in here.
No, you don't. I when I came over tonight, I was talking to you like my initial impressions about it. It's kind of like, it feels like it's like Walking Dead meets Doom meets Quake meets like, you know, your typical
Home Improvement.
No, not quite Home Improvement.
Wait, different.
Do you ever see As Above, So Below?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
It was it's a horror movie, came out a couple years ago. It's like a found footage horror film that takes place in the catacombs under Paris.
It explains why I haven't seen it. I'm not big on found footage.
It was okay, but it's kind of like that, you know, 7 levels of hell kind of thing. And like it was very cerebral. There's some cerebral stuff to this, I think. It's very interesting. It's
really,
still early in the run, too. It's 4 episodes. It's 4...
Well, they call them episodes. I like how they, like, frame it, too. Like, they're like, cinematographer, and I like the way they do the credits. Overall, I do really like this book. And I like that it's one that has gotten international recognition, and it's been growing. And overall, it sells fairly well for me. I've had to do a couple of reorders on it, which has been nice, and it's nice also not necessarily going through a distributor, but being able to, like, contact the creators directly, which is always nice for me, because...
And it's local.
Yeah, and there's that aspect of it, too, that we are getting something that's being done by Maine creators that's being put out into the world, and God, if Maine is known for creators in anything, it's putting horror out into the world.
Stephen King, he gets a reference in there.
Stephen King does get a little bit of a shout-out. Overall, I'd say pick it up. It's 4 issues in, and you can still support the book on Kickstarter. And I think some of the, what did they call them? Goals or...
Yeah, like goals. Yeah, you can like actually be in the book.
Yeah, you can...
And probably die a really terrible death.
As everyone in this book does. But overall, I say check it out. It's only 4 in, so I can't even spoil the whole story, because, God, I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, there's a long way to go yet. But it's, it will not take long to get caught up on it. I liked it.
Next section.
Ooh, is that letters to the editors?
Yeah, I gotta find it. Yes, it is, though.
All right.
Lot of questions, number one. Damn few answers.
Here's another one of your letters to the editors.
Make it so.
Got to ruffle through the old mailbag over there, huh?
You like that new Star Trek theme?
Yes.
Caught you off guard.
Lots of questions, number one, but damn few answers. Make it so.
If you had to dress up as one superhero or villain for Halloween, who are you going with?
Like a date, or like what am I going to dress as? Because let's be honest, the date thing is probably out of the question.
That was literally no part of the question. You really inferred a lot there.
I did.
It's just...
Like, what am I going to go with as a costume?
Yes.
What am I going to dress as? Are we talking like practicality and like ease to create, or is money no object?
Do whatever you want.
Money's no object?
I already have my answer. I just thought of it. I haven't thought about this question at all, but I have an answer.
Oh, what's your answer?
I'm going to go with an obscure Batman villain.
Okay.
Maxi Zeus.
Okay, I've never heard of him.
He's a guy who thinks that he's Zeus because he's insane, but he literally just dresses in a toga. I feel like that costume would have multiple uses at multiple parties. I could be Maxi Zeus, the crazy Batman villain, or I could just go to a toga party.
You got that going for you.
It's a really multifaceted costume. Plus, I like the airflow.
Yeah, keeps it cool, breezy. Star-Lord would be cool. Star-Lord would be kind of a cool costume, because if the music at your party sucks, you could just throw on your soundtrack there.
It's not really a costume as much as an accessory.
Yeah, it's part of the costume, though.
You've accessorized?
You got to accessorize. If you're going to play the part, you got to look at it. I don't know. I think it would always be cool to be like Spider-Man. But that's not much of it. I don't really have the physique.
The skin-tight leotard.
The skin-tight leotard might be a bit much. Ooh, who else would it be?
Hey guys, you want to see out-of-work Spider-Man?
Yeah. Spider-Man's really let his body go recently. Want to see alcoholic Spider-Man? Does Indiana Jones count as a superhero? No, not really, I guess. That'd be fun to dress up as Indiana Jones. Real easy, too.
Hat.
And a satchel. Superhero stuff. Iron Man, that'd be really hot. And like
that would be cumbersome.
It would, yeah, it'd be very hard to get around. Pretty heavy.
I just chose a toga.
You did. You made it really simple. Really, really simple.
Did you ever go to a toga party?
Oh, yeah. I've been to a couple.
Really?
Yeah.
I only went to one, and I just like turned bedding into it. I'm like,
that's exactly what I had. Green striped sheets, and that was my toga.
At least mine was a solid color, a solid off-white.
And I stole someone's like leaf crown. Their victory crown. I stole it and wore it around. It was in college. There was a lot of toga beverage going around there.
Yeah. I remember the cops showed up, like people were like the cops. I'm like, why does it matter? I'm of age.
That's a very good point.
I'm like, I don't. Shh, be quiet, the cops. I'm like,
I can.
Everything's fine.
I'm over 21.
Like, I'm 22. It's fine.
Did I really give a good answer to the question?
No, you didn't answer it at all.
No, I'm gonna go with Batman. Everyone likes Batman.
Everyone does like Batman. Batman is currently fighting clowns.
Yes. See, that way, like, I could be the protector of the party if those creepy ass clowns showed up.
Were you ever? I never understood that. People were like, I'm afraid of clowns. I'm like, no.
No, I was never really afraid of clowns.
I never really got that. That whole, like, I'm like, is this an actual thing or is this just a thing that people say?
I think it's an actual thing.
Yeah.
There's like a real phobia of clowns.
Okay.
Yeah. So go with that. We'll go with
Whatever.
Batman.
I was like, I guess it's kind of an old party thing that doesn't happen anymore.
What? Clowns?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not going to be a clowns at my birthday party this weekend. Unless you want me to, like, find a clown and hire a clown or something.
No, that sounds like work.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
It sounds like a minimal amount of work, but I still don't want to do it.
Well, no, I was saying I would do it, but I'm not gonna plan a clown for my own birthday party. That's pretty low.
So you heard that Jared's Halloween costume is a clown. Mine is Maxie Zeus.
No, I said Batman.
Okay.
I'm going with Batman.
Like Ronald McDonald.
That's not Batman.
No. That'll do it for this week.
Oh, where can we find you?
Everywhere. Wherever clowns are lurking.
Wells.
No more trips to Wells for a while. You can find me there all weekend, apparently. On Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, my website, All Editors Note Comics, YouTube, iTunes. Please, in all seriousness, let's have a somber moment. Rate, review, subscribe. I appreciate it. It helps the show somehow with algorithms and people finding us. I don't really understand how it works, but it helps.
Well, I mean, the more hits it gets, the more popular it is. That's why, like, on Google, the things that get the most hits are the top of the search.
The ones that you're pay-to-play Google politics.
Hey now.
You could pay Google to get on top. It's true.
Well, yeah, I'm not disputing it.
They also label them as paid advertisements.
Yes. But, like, the regular search results, the ones with the most hits are the ones that go to the top. By relevance. There's a funky algorithm. I don't understand it.
Smarter people than us have made it.
Yes. Therefore, they have tons of money. And here we are in the basement with one microphone this week because we couldn't get two to work again.
What's wrong with my basement? It's half finished.
Fair enough. It'd be more finished if you didn't have a piece of cardboard with soundproof foam on it.
I made a studio, yo.
You did.
Where you at?
I'm on Twitter, @JuniorRich. Remember, tweet me, @JuniorRich. Was Zach tailgating? Was he engaged in tailgating activity? Quick online Twitter poll.
You'll never know what was in that coffee. Side note, it was coffee.
I'm guessing that there may have been Sambuca in it.
No. It's incredibly specific, no.
But you're so defensive about it.
God, that was accurate. All right.
I knew it!
Next week.